Coming up on today's show, as rave reviews of the F150 Lightning roll in, Ford hints that it's readying LFP batteries to power its entry-level versions of its electric vehicles, StoreDot completes a live 10-minute recharge demonstration of what it hopes is a revolutionary breakthrough for EV batteries, and a Ukrainian motorcycle company that found itself in the midst of an illegal invasion is moving forwards with production plans. War regardless. These stories and more coming next. Welcome back to TN, or Transport Evolved News. Thank you for tuning in. If you've been following my personal social media this week, you'll know that my wife, Kate, was admitted to the emergency room on Monday with a ruptured appendix and required emergency surgery. Thank you to everybody who sent us well wishes, and thanks to the other Kate, Kate Walton Elliott, for keeping content flowing while I was away. Oh, and before we get going, don't forget to check your preferences for this channel and hit the notification bell and the subscribe button. Today's show is sponsored by the Electric Vehicle Association. Join up to support the electrification of transport today and get the help you need to finance your own EV or clean energy future. And if you're in the US, don't forget to put Fully Charged Live USA on your calendar. It's taking place in San Diego on September 10th and 11th this fall, so head to fullycharged.live/US to find out more, and we all hope to see you there. This week, the official press embargo for first drive impressions of the Ford F-150 Lightning pickup truck were lifted, and pretty much everyone who attended the press launch in Austin, Texas, had only good things to say about the full-size electric pickup. The F-150 Lightning is currently powered by NCM batteries supplied by SK Innovation, but this week we learned that Ford has been busy working on LFP cells for its entire range of electric vehicles: F-150 Lightning, Mustang Mach-E, and Ford E-Transit. And according to some pretty big hints dropped by the company's CEO Jim Farley, may be introducing LFP battery variants of all three vehicles in the near future. LFP is considered a more stable chemistry than NCM, costs less, and doesn't use cobalt or nickel. However, as it isn't as energy dense, it thus will likely only be used in entry-level models, just as Tesla has for its Model 3 and Model Y. I'm sure we'll know more in the near future, so watch this space. Rivian posted its official quarterly results this week, posting a massive $1.6 billion loss during the first quarter of this year. Missing revenue predictions from Wall Street by 26.19%, Rivian's financials didn't look as rosy as some had hoped. But in the last few days since the results were posted, Rivian has enjoyed a surge in share price. This likely tied to Rivian's confirmation on Wednesday that it has enough cash on hand to reach production status of the Rivian R2 SUV by 2025 at its newly announced factory in Georgia. Additionally, Rivian said that its production at its first factory in Normal, Illinois is now well above 1,000 vehicles per month, meaning its Q2 figures should be more healthy than its first. And while I'm sure many will be looking at this and decrying the slow ramp-up, it is worth remembering that Tesla only produced about 3,100 cars during its first 2 quarters of Model S production back in 2012. Simply put, ramping up production as a startup is hard. As prices of gasoline go up around the world, there's been an increased demand for electric vehicles, with any models on dealer lots getting snapped up and even used EVs going up in price by a significant amount. And this week, a new report from Energy Innovation made it blatantly clear why. Buying an electric car is now cheaper from day one than it is buying a comparable gasoline, diesel or hybrid vehicle. Comparing the costs to purchase, insurance, service and fuel electric vehicles from a variety of different manufacturers, including Hyundai, Kia, Nissan, Volvo and Ford, the study proved that for many vehicles, including the Ford F-150 Lightning Pro and Hyundai Kona Electric SEL, the total cost of ownership was cheaper from day one in the majority of US states. Only the Kia Niro EV showed itself up to be a bad deal in most states because the vehicle it was being compared to was its hybrid variant with a surprisingly high fuel economy. So the next time someone tells you EVs aren't affordable, well, just show them this report. Electric vehicle startup Canoo, which was celebrating just last month that it had been awarded the price of producing next-generation Astrovans from Artemis program, has hit hard times. As the company detailed in its Q1 earnings report this week, its rapid rate of cash burn with no revenue meant that its losses widened, with $125.4 million lost in just 3 months. In a regulatory filing, the company states that, quote, "If we're unable to obtain sufficient funding or do not have access to capital, we will be unable to execute our business plans or significantly curtail our operations and our prospects," end quote. Simply put, the company has issued a going concern warning. If things don't get better soon, we think it's likely that Canoo will become Canot. After running out of charge, one of the biggest concerns that non-electric vehicle owners have about making the switch to electric vehicles is just how much time it takes to refuel. As a consequence, we've seen some pretty massive amounts of cash funneled into developing faster charging vehicles and battery chemistries, but perhaps none have been so quick as the pouch cell being promised by Israeli firm StoreDot. The company has been touting its patented super-fast charging technology for years, and this week it demonstrated its rapid charge technology live at EcoMotion Week 2022 in Israel, and streamed it online at the same time. With on-screen text displaying battery capacity, state of charge, voltage and cell temperature, the cell, which StoreDot says was identical to engineering samples currently being evaluated by automakers around the world, recharged from 0 to 80% full in just 10 minutes. When placed together with other cells to form a battery pack, StoreDot says this is equivalent to 200 miles, 321 kilometers of range being added in just 10 minutes. Impressive. Despite the ongoing electronics component shortage and continuing fear of a global recession caused by rising inflation in many of the world's major markets, 2022 will be another record-breaking year for renewable energy. That's according to the International Energy Agency, IEA for short, which said in its latest renewable energy market update that it predicts renewable energy deployments will accelerate this year by more than 25 gigawatts when compared to last year. This means instead of the 295 gigawatts of deployed generation switched on last year, it believes we'll have 2022 seeing 320 gigawatts of new renewable energy generation turned on. That capacity alone is enough to instantaneously power the whole of Germany. Granted, we're not even halfway through the year yet, but here's hoping the IEA's very well-informed predictions are proven correct. Panasonic has long been a battery partner of Tesla's, working alongside the company to design, build and operate the Gigafactory just outside Sparks, Reno in Nevada. It's no surprise then that Panasonic has been busy beavering away producing test cells of Tesla's latest battery design, the tab-free 4680 cell that Tesla wants to use in future iterations of its EVs. And although Panasonic already has a test production line worth $700 million operating in Japan, just making 4680 cells, it said this week that Tesla has been putting the pressure on for it to ramp up to full-scale production lines. Since Tesla plans to use 4680 cells in everything from Model 3 and Y to Tesla's Semi and Cybertruck, it's no wonder that Panasonic is feeling the heat. And yes, this also means that the hunt, supposedly, is on for a new location for Panasonic to site a production facility in the US, although Panasonic hasn't yet confirmed that particular rumour. Commercial truck specialist Exos unveiled 2 new commercial vehicles this week at the Advanced Clean Transportation Expo. The first, the HDXT, is a Class 8 heavy-duty tractor unit and is capable of pulling 56,000 pounds for up to 230 miles, 370 kilometers per charge, while its sibling, the MDXT, is a Class 6 or 7 commercial vehicle capable of accommodating a variety of bodies that can travel up to 270 miles, 434 kilometers per charge. At the same time, the company also unveiled its new fleet management system called Exosphere. We had been invited to witness this firsthand in LA this week, but, well, my wife's appendix had other plans. But fear not, we've already checked in with Exos and we're hoping to visit the company later this year. Rumours are currently flying concerning a brand new $7 billion EV production facility that Hyundai is expected to build in Georgia. While Hyundai has confirmed it's investing $7 billion into a new US production facility, the official location has not been announced yet. But with President Joe Biden due to visit Seoul next week, it's expected the announcement will be made then. Hyundai, like other automakers, is looking to bring domestic EV production to the US in order to avoid import tariffs and take advantage of the Biden administration's various incentives on offer to companies willing to build electric vehicles and their battery packs in the US. If Georgia is indeed the chosen state, it will be the second EV production facility announced there this year, as Rivian is already well underway with plans to build its new factory there. The ability to make super long-distance trips by car without stopping to refuel is an argument many people come up with when explaining why they feel an electric car won't work for them. But as most people with EVs will tell you, the majority of electric cars on the market today can easily accommodate upwards of a week's worth of daily trips without ever needing to recharge. And now there's new data to back that up. According to a study from the Maryland Transportation Institute in the US, which used anonymized national mobile device data as a starting point, 52% of all trips made last year were less than 3 miles, 4.8 kilometers in length, while 28% were under 1 mile, 1.6 kilometers in length. Only 2% of trips were in excess of 50 miles, 80 kilometers, showing that what we think we need and what we actually need is very different. Moreover, from that data, most of us should be dumping our cars completely and walking, cycling, or using micromobility instead. We'll dive headlong into our short shorts in a second, but first, a reminder that TE is here because of the kind donations of people like you. Every penny we earn from YouTube ad revenue, third-party production work, and support from you guys on Patreon, YouTube, Ko-fi, and our swag store goes into growing the channel and paying everyone else's salary. But with a massive medical bill on the way, I would really appreciate it if we could increase our support a little, because I haven't been paying myself since November, and yeah, bills. On to the short shorts. At the time of filming today's show, Elon Musk's acquisition of Twitter looks to be on hold. Depending on whom you listen to, this is either because Tesla's share price has dropped quite a lot recently, or because Elon Musk wants to prove that less than 5% of Twitter accounts are fake or spam. Subaru's first EV, the Solterra, may be built in collaboration with Toyota. It shares a platform with the Toyota BZ4X, but this week the company announced it will invest $1.9 billion equivalent to build a dedicated EV production facility in Japan by 2027. Tesla has mothballed plans to bring its electric cars to India, abandoning a search for a suitable Tesla store location and giving some of its Indian sales teams new jobs. The reason? It's been unable to secure a deal with the government for lower import taxes. As a nation, Japan has been dragging its feet on electric vehicles, choosing instead to support hybrid and hydrogen fuel cell technology. This week, a new report suggests that the nation will lose up to 14% of its GDP and millions of jobs if it fails to adopt EVs soon. New Mexico has implemented a new rule that will require at least 7% of all cars and trucks sold by automakers within the state to be electric or plug-in hybrid by 2025. It is effectively New Mexico's equivalent of California's ZEV mandate. A pilot program in California demonstrating the EVs for All Act, which would help bring electric cars to public housing projects across the US, has proven so popular that every electric vehicle in the program is booked out solid for the next 2 weeks. It really does prove EVs need to be for everyone. After years of giving EV owners the perk of not paying sales tax on their new EV purchases, Norway has just passed a budget that will reinstate VAT charges on new EV purchases, but only those above €500,000, €49,000 in value. A new budget in the state of Western Australia will establish a clean car energy fund that will offer up to $3,500 for each purchase of a new EV. At the same time, however, it's also introduced a new EV tax that charges owners per kilometre driven. Rivian has issued its first recall for the R1T electric pickup truck. Around 500 vehicles are affected by the recall, which focuses on the automatic airbag deactivation system for front seat child passengers and child seats. Owners will be contacted by Rivian. The Los Angeles Department of Transport is launching a new pilot program called Universal Basic Mobility. Its aim is to help lower-income residents get around using everything from subsidized electric bicycle rental to on-demand electric shuttle buses and EV sharing. A rather unique Tesla hit the headlines this week when German YouTube channel The Real Life Guys made a fully functioning road-legal tank track for Model 3. The resulting video was quite a watch, and it certainly puts this vehicle into a very unique category of very heavily modified Model 3s. Despite Ford warning dealerships not to, examples of heavily price-gouged Ford F-150 Lightning pickups are hitting the online listings even before a single truck has been delivered. One dealership in Thousand Oaks, California is listing an F-150 Lightning for over $145,000. Chevrolet has announced that it's going to bring its Redline performance package to an electric car. Later this year, when the 2023 Chevrolet Bolt EUV starts rolling off the production line, you'll be able to order one with a Redline package trim. But sadly, it is just trim. It's got a stock drivetrain. The European Union has officially voted to ban the sale of all new internal combustion engine vehicles from 2035 onwards. While some member states have already set earlier bans and others have actually objected to any ban at all, this new rule will go into force in 13 years. The Lucid Air has officially been priced for the European market. The Lucid Air Dream Edition, due to go on sale from €218,000, is hardly cheap. The first Lucid store in Europe opened in Germany on Friday. DeLorean has unexpectedly moved the reveal date for its first EV, the DeLorean Evolved, forward by a few months. It had originally planned to unveil the car at Pebble Beach Concours d'Elegance in August, but now it will reveal the car on May 31st. Gogoro, the Asian battery swap mobility company, has announced that it will be launching its services in Israel in the near future through a partnership with Smart Scooters. Ultimately, it wants to bring its electric scooter battery swap stations to North America and Europe as well. Daimler Trucks North America has officially revealed the production version of the e-Cascadia Class 8 Big Rig. With 230 miles, 370 kilometers of range per charge, it aims to target short and medium-haul markets. Hyundai has officially teased the new autonomous robotaxi it's developed alongside autonomous vehicle company Motional. Based on the Ioniq 5, the robotaxis will begin transporting passengers next year, with an initial rollout planned for Las Vegas, Nevada. Renault says it is bringing the Mobilize mobility brand to the UK next year with a new vehicle called the Duo. It is a two-seat enclosed tandem EV with doors that looks a lot more like a sophisticated version of the Renault Twizy than we thought. Expect news on this launch in the near future. Northvolt has secured funding from the German government to help it build a brand new battery manufacturing and recycling facility in northern Germany. The funding, worth €155 million, will allow Northvolt 3 to begin construction soon. Livewire has officially unveiled the S2 Del Mar LE, or Del Mar to its friends. Final specifications haven't been detailed, but the initial 100-strong launch edition has already sold out despite its $17,500 price tag. Future models will be priced at $15,000. Tesla has issued a new recall, but yet again been able to fix the issue with an over-the-air software update. This time, the recall affects just shy of 130,000 cars whose infotainment screens are overheating during fast charging. New York City says it wants to take back a quarter of all of its street spaces from cars and turn them over to pedestrian walkways, bus lanes, plazas and cycle paths. The goal is to make New York City a nicer place to live, walk and work by 2025. BMW has officially completed the final winter testing for its upcoming iX1 electric crossover. BMW says the iX1 will be available with all-wheel drive at launch, and the iX1 will also come with a heated battery pack as standard. Expect an official launch of said car later this year. After exiting the European market 5 years ago when it sold Opel and Vauxhall brands to the PSA Group, which later became Stellantis, General Motors says it will return to Europe by 2035 with a lineup of all-electric models. We'd expect lots of crossovers and maybe a city car or two. Effectively confirming some pretty big rumours that have been flying around in recent weeks, Volkswagen has announced it's bringing the Scout brand back to life as an all-electric marque. Its first models will be a US market rugged SUV and an all-electric pickup truck. With Ducati taking the reins as official motorcycle manufacturer for next year's race season of Moto-E, Michelin has unveiled a brand new motorcycle tyre specifically for the race series. It's the company's most sustainable race tyre to date, using sustainable, natural and heavily recycled materials. IKEA has announced that it will be partnering with US residential solar specialist SunPower to bring solar panel installations directly to IKEA customers across the US. It will start with a select market launch in California later this year, but don't expect the panels to be flat-packed. Hot on the heels of the announcement we covered earlier this week that Lordstown has sold its production facility to Foxconn, Fisker has confirmed that it's chosen Foxconn's new production facility as a place where its PEAR compact electric SUV will be made. With Tesla's order books now extending well into next year, Elon Musk said this week that he's considering pausing Tesla's ordering system for all cars with long lead times. While that might sound smart, I should note, though, that the cars with long lead times are Tesla's most affordable models. And those are your shorts. There will be more next week. Transitioning the world's fleet to cleaner, greener electric vehicles isn't just about getting people to dump the pump with their personal cars. It's about getting everyone to make smarter choices about how we get people and goods around the world. So when one of the world's largest delivery services, DHL, makes a massive order for electric trucks, it is time to sit up and take notice. And this week, that's exactly what DHL did, placing an order with Volvo Trucks that will, hopefully, lead it to electrifying the majority of its vehicles. It's starting with a 44-truck order designed to electrify some of its heaviest truck routes across Europe. Having tested electric trucks made by Volvo for the last 2 years, DHL says it's time for its fleet to fully transition. With the majority of trucks due to be FE and FL models, plus 4 heavy-duty FM trucks for the UK, DHL's carbon footprint and fuel costs are about to go way down. And finally, last year, a Ukrainian electric motorcycle company called EMGO debuted its first model at EICMA. Called the EMGO Scramper, the off-road capable electric scrambler certainly looked the part and created a lot of buzz. But since then, the company's plans to bring the Scramper to production have been thwarted by, the largest conflict in mainland Europe since the Second World War. Just like other Ukrainian firms struggling to survive the illegal and brutal Russian occupation, EMGO had to think on its feet. And this week, we learned that it's managed to pull off quite an impressive feat, arranging to shift production of the Scramper from Ukraine to Poland. I am glad to see this success story from the heart of a war-torn nation, and while I'm at it, I do want to remind you that former sponsors of this channel, UGears, are also a Ukrainian company with European distributors who would love your help right now. I don't want to send you our usual affiliate link for that one, so just be sure to head to ugearsmodels.com, where €5 from every single purchase will be donated to Ukrainian aid efforts. And on that note, we're done for the day. Before I go, a huge thank you to the Electric Vehicle Association for sponsoring today's show. They have been advocating for electric vehicles since 1967 and firmly believe that our future depends on us making the switch to clean, green electric cars today. The EVA can help you find someone near to you that can help you make the switch to electric. It can help you become an EV educator, and it can point you in the direction of monthly meetups for like-minded EV fans. And if you become a member, you'll gain access to a new clean energy and EV loan program set up between the EVA and the Colorado Clean Energy Credit Union. You can find out more by heading to electricauto.org. Don't forget to hit subscribe and that bell for the channel and our second channel, Transport Evolved Take 2. And if you're not already a channel member or Patreon supporter, please consider becoming one. Or you can send us a tip through Ko-fi or check out our cool swag store. And if you like what you saw today, why not consider adding a super thanks to your comment? It's super easy and it all helps the channel grow. I will be back next week with this roundup show, but there will also be awesome content for you to enjoy throughout the week until then. So enjoy your weekend, and as always, keep evolving.